All right, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Left Hand Brewing Company, and they're out of Longmont, Colorado, and this is their Double Milk Stout. So this is an Imperial / Double Milk Stout that comes in at 10.5% alcohol by volume, 25 IBUs at the time of review. I don't know exactly how old this bottle is, but it does have a Best By date of February 24th of 2023, and we're about 6 months away from that date. So we should be good. Now, they released this one, I believe, for the first time back last fall in their Milk Stout box. And it was this along with their S'mores Milk Stout, which I've reviewed on the channel, and their Mole Milk Stout and their Chocolate Mint Milk Stout. Now, the last two I wanted to review along with this one, but I could not find single bottles of each beer. You know, with everything going on over the past year and a half with my health and stuff, I don't buy 12 packs of beers pretty much at all anymore. So I wanted to get a single of each to review them. Was unable to find any of them. However, they have finally released this one in 6 packs, and I saw a single of it, so I picked it up. And I also saw on their website that the fall/winter milk stout they're releasing, French Toast Milk Stout, if it shows up here, which I hope it does, I will be reviewing that one because anything French toast related, especially beer, I'm going to give it a try. So, like I said, this is an Imperial / Double Milk Stout. It's basically a double version of their iconic Milk Stout, although their Milk Stout Nitro is where it's at if you compare the regular Milk Stout to... Why can't I open this up? Wow, it's on there. That's just my preference. It's the Nitro. I think, you know, Left Hand is one of the best Nitro games in the business, definitely here in the U.S., so that's my preference, but this is like a bigger version of their regular milk stout. So let's give it a pour into the glass here. They do have tasting notes on the side, which if I remember, I will read at the end of this review, but right now we're just going to pour it and try to see what we think about this one. So, yeah, beautiful looking beer, it looks like. Try to give it a little bit of a swirl here to swirl up a head, but yeah, so that is dark brown. On camera, probably going to look pitch black, but definitely dark brown in the glass. Has just under a finger of this really nice light brown colored head, a very creamy looking, murky, turbid, can't see through it the whole nine. It does have some alcohol legs on the glass for sure, definitely showing up. So yeah, it looks like kind of what I expect it to look like. Anyway, it's good nose. Okay, yeah. Roasted malt, chocolate. There's a sweeter confectionery sugar in here, like a molasses, a brown sugar, some kind of caramelized sugar. A little bit of like a black cherry, or even like a raisinette, like a chocolate-covered raisin. Whew, that brown sugar, molasses, whatever that is, really big. More so than the regular milk stout. Maybe tinge of like a vanilla. Not really getting any coffee, although that roasted malt could be blending in with the coffee, but that's not, it's, you know, I'm not getting coffee from the malt. It doesn't smell super boozy. Like I thought this would have like a real big boozy nose at 10.5%. Really, I mean, there's a little bit of intensity. You can tell this is bigger than, you know, what is their milk stout, 6.5, 6.5, whatever that is. Yeah, it smells bigger than that, but 10.5, not really. Yeah, I'm getting more dark fruits, like a sweet black cherry. Raisin. Yeah, that's kind of different. I didn't expect that. So layers of complexity in the nose. There's a slight earthiness too. Smells really good. Let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. Tell you something about that molasses, brown sugar, caramelized sugar. That is the first thing that hits me. So different than their regular milk stout, because I usually get like chocolate, roasted malt in that one, a little bit of vanilla. This, though, is more of like that molasses, brown sugar, maybe a little bit of vanilla, and then like raisin and like sweet dark cherry. This is I like this. It's nice. Body is a bit thin, 10.5%. This is like higher side of medium at best. So I like to see this one low full, medium full, 10.5%. So it's a bit thin. The mouthfeel, it's soft, it's smooth, it's creamy, has good carbonation, but it doesn't step in the way. You know, up front, it has that spritzy kind of feel on the tongue. On the back of the palate, it's smooth, a little bit of creaminess. Nice. The taste, pretty much already ran through it, but first thing that hits me, it's molasses and brown sugar. It's some kind of caramelized sugar at the front. Passes through, I get a little bit of chocolate, little roasted malt. Then the vanilla hits. And then middle of the palate is where the like dark fruits come in. Again, sweet black cherry, little bit of a raisin type of thing going on. So you could say raisinette. But for me, like that brown sugar molasses, so different, but welcomed. On the back of the palate has a little bit of like an earthiness to it. Finishes semi-dry with a mild bitterness, not really bitter beer. It's a little bit sweeter than I would like, but it's not crazy sweet, 10.5%, but it's a double milk stout. Brewing it with lactose, you're expecting, the mouthfeel to be a little bit creamy like it is, and then it to be a little sweeter, and it is. It's not crazy sweet. It's not cloying. It's not over the top, but it definitely leans sweet. 10.5%, I feel a little warming in the chest, nothing on the palate. Hides the alcohol extremely well, kind of like the nose. You can't really tell. My one critique on this beer is that I don't think this is exactly like a ramped up version of their regular milk stout. I remember that one being again more chocolate, coffee, roasted malt, vanilla. This doesn't have as much as that. And again, the caramelized sugars, the molasses, I shouldn't say caramelized sugar, I should say sugars in general, but like molasses, the brown sugar, there's even like a caramel kind of sweetness. That stuff is hitting me big time at the front of the palate. And I don't remember the regular milk stout being that vibrant with those characters. But I do like that. That's something welcomed. I will say I would be one and done, but obviously 10.5%, you typically would be. But I think the sweetness is going to build to the point where when I'm done with that bottle, I'd be like, even if it wasn't 10.5%, let's say it's 6%, I wouldn't want another one just because I think it's too sweet. But not crazy sweet. I think if you have a sweet tooth, you have no problems with this one. Me, I used to have a sweet tooth, and over the years, I'm starting to appreciate more bitter and more dry beers. I used to hate dry beer, like any kind of dry beverage at all. I hated. Now I'm starting to understand why people enjoy that, because it does stop the sweetness to some degree, and I like a little bit more bitterness too. So maybe, 5, 6, 7 years ago, I'd appreciate this one more for the sweetness, but right now, not so much. That said, I still think it's really good, and you owe it to yourself to try this, especially if you like the regular Left Hand Milk Stout or the Nitro or any of the variants. Give this one a go. We'll talk about price and availability, but it wasn't too bad for a single bottle. So Double Milk Stout from Left Hand. I have no problems giving this beer a high 4 out of 5. We'll go 4.05 out of 5. That's where I landed with this one. I think it's pretty good for Imperialized Milk Stout. I don't have many complaints other than maybe it's a little sweet and the body's thin. Price point and availability, I paid $2.59 for that bottle. So it comes in 6-packs. I'd imagine that 6-packs are probably somewhere in the $14-15 realm. I should have checked the 6-pack price, but or maybe it comes in a 4-pack. Is it 4? No, I think it's a 6-pack. Regardless, about $2.50 a bottle. That's a good deal for something 10.5% without question. And availability, wherever you see Left Hand, you probably should see this at some point. Again, I think they're selling this as it's on its own, not part of that Milk Stout box, although I think you can still find it in the Milk Stout box, but this is definitely on its own. So if you want to try this one, you can get singles of it. I highly recommend it. Would I recommend buying an entire 6-pack of this, or if it comes in 4-packs? Probably not, unless you like sweet Imperial stouts. And that's pretty much where I'll leave it. So if you've had this one before, post in the comment section. I would appreciate to hear your feedback. Again, pretty good, 4.05 out of 5. But I still will always take, like when it comes to Left Hand, still my favorite is their Left Hand Milk Stout Nitro. The OG, the classic, still my G. I was going to say still my G, still my jam. And I will still take that over any of their offerings at this point. Hopefully that French toast Milk Stout is good though. Appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer PaTroll. To the next one. Cheers. Oh, hang on. You know what? No cheers. I was gonna turn this off. I'm gonna leave this in at the end, because usually I take a sip, I put it down, I grab the stuff, and I get out of this room. But I'm not. I remembered to read the tasting notes, albeit past the end. But we're gonna leave this in. We're not even gonna jump cut this one because fuck it. It says double down, decadent notes of milk chocolate. Yeah, I said chocolate. Definitely more sweet, so milk. Roasted coffee. Didn't get a lot of coffee. Like I said, that roasted malt character, very, very minute, and I definitely didn't get roasted coffee. Brown sugar, yes. And vanilla cream, sure. So that brown sugar would be the number one for me. And it says enjoy 50 to 55 in a stout glass. This was about 55 degrees. And I did enjoy a stout glass. I enjoyed it in #proper glassware. Not for real. To the next one. Cheers. I'm actually going to sip this one, and we're going to cut it at the end, like I always do. That's right.